What's up, y'all? What's happening? What's happening?
What's going on?
Yeah, anybody that's coming along that yeah, we're late. I'm late. I take the L on this one. I was knocked out.
Oh,
Knocked out. Woke up at 4:28. Like, what the hell going on?
what I'm supposed to be doing?
What my co-host said, he late.
I'm, yeah, I'm late too.
And then I was like, damn, no, I'm late. I thought you had left and went on.
Nah.
Uh,
I was doing a similar thing,
mm, yeah,
fighting the Sandman over
yeah.
there. The
Sam.
Sandman was winning too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had to get up off the mat.
Yeah. I had to tap out to at a at a brunch, probably about 1:30. I ate
The
and
itis.
yeah, the itis got me. So the Sandman and the itis double teamed me, and
Yeah, that's a tough battle right
that was all she wrote.
there.
That was all
That's a
she
tough. You didn't
wrote.
have no tag partner. You need
No, nobody else there to help
you
me.
need
No,
somebody
not at all.
to tag in.
No, it was me by myself, by my lonesome, holding it down. They said, submit. Come on. Tap out. Tap out. That's what it was. Um, hey everybody, what's up? It's what's May? Shit, May the
Yeah,
2nd.
man, it's May.
Damn,
Came and
April came through.
we almost halfway through the year already.
Mm, we didn't had some stuff happen in April. People died. DMX died. Shock G died. Black Rob died.
Yeah, yeah.
April came through,
It
swept
is.
thue.
It's not comfortable right now if
Um,
you're a rapper from the 90s or
nope,
the late
nah.
2000s,
Yeah, you feel it.
early 2000s.
Feel it. Derek Jackson's career died.
I heard that name so many times.
Hey, he's dead, bro. He's been radio silent. He might reinvent himself, but he gone or not. It's dead.
What
He's
exactly did he do? What?
okay. Well, yes. I mean, it's not far from the topic, so yeah, we could go into that.
Okay.
So, what happened was that so Derek Jackson, what people don't know, is I guess he could call himself a dating coach
Oh, okay.
or yeah, dating coach. So he dating coach, guru of relationships, so to speak, talking to black women or talking to women in general about men and how men are so wrong in the situation and pandering to women for I want to
Is,
say about 4 or 5
is that
years.
white knighting? Is that
Yeah,
what?
oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
major,
Make sure I
major
use the
white
word
knight.
right. Okay.
Yeah, major white knighter.
So
He's the capital white knighter.
capital white knight. So
Yes.
what? Tell me about old Derek.
So what he did was he was about to write he wrote a book and he was about to promo his book,
Hmm.
and then somebody came out saying, oh, he's a fake, he's a phony, he's a fraud, you know. He been screwing me or whatever, I'm giving I'm giving the short
Right.
of
Right.
condensed
Right.
version.
Right.
So he got on a stream on YouTube and he talks about how she was lying.
Okay.
She's a liar.
That's
She
right.
that's not the truth. He did it. So the next day or the next morning, somebody else comes out. That YouTube video disappears. The video that he did where he's talking about she lying, he gave this
Right.
whole spiel. I have somewhere I got it recorded because I had to keep those receipts. It was awesome to watch. So yeah, so he took that down because he was trying to say
So
that
it's the same lady came back
no, it's
today.
another lady. It's another lady.
Oh.
So during this video, he tried to say that he was struggling with his spirituality, right?
Okay.
He was struggling with spirituality because his wife had left him
Mm.
and they were separated, and how he was feeling depressed down, and what he did what a man would do. He had a slip because our flesh is
Boy,
weak.
I tell you what.
Our flesh is weak.
Nothing good. Can't nothing make you feel better than
Some new coachy, some new.
I can agree with him on that. What
Yeah.
is it?
So, but that was the story though.
Okay.
That was the story, and so like I said, the video disappeared. It was boom, it was gone.
Hmm.
But somebody kept it because he was beefing with this other woman. Damn, I wish I knew her name. I'm sorry, I can't even remember her name. But he was beefing with her about something, and she had called him out. Well, this is the woman that actually they was getting in touch with her,
Hmm.
so she was the one dropping this stuff. So she was on it. She was do never beef with a woman, a black woman. Never do that. If you know
And
you got dirt, hey,
yeah,
bro,
if your shit ain't together,
be humble. He should have humbled himself one on one. Because I think initially all she wanted to do was like some, collab work with him.
okay.
She wanted to try to collab with him. He was like, he was too good for her.
I got this. I got this lane, baby.
Yeah, and he made an enemy and a costly enemy.
I mean, what does she do? I mean, how?
I can't remember, but what she does you know how she does all the tea, the gossip and stuff and whatever. And
I mean, but how did she end up murdering his?
because the lady started coming out. So then another woman come out after that one.
Put a Bill Cosby on.
Yeah. They started coming out.
Okay.
I think it was 4 women in all, if I'm not mistaken. And the last one, the third, well, the first 3, it was like, all right, you could put our name out. The last one, I think, was the nail in the coffin. The last one, she's down here. He stayed down here.
See, I heard his name before. I didn't know much about him. So he live in Atlanta.
Yeah, he stayed in Atlanta. And the last one was a doctor. So she came and she didn't want to be. They never. We don't know who she is. But she gave an interview before she got hit with the with the silent whatever.
NDA.
Yeah, the NDA. He hit the lawyers hit her with an NDA. And before that, though, the night before, she had already told the information. So the information was that they've been screwing around. He used to come to her job, send a text message. She had text message. She sent them text message, whatever. They used to get it in the parking lot in his SUV or whatever he got. It ain't nothing wrong with that if you're not married and you're not trying to act like you got a perfect life. And you got a book out talking about. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's married.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been married since 20s. Hey, everybody, don't get me right. I mean, don't quote me on this. But he's been married at least 5 years, I think.
Okay.
4 years. But they've been together for, I think, 10 or 11 years.
Yeah, he just needs to change his vows around so to include,
Yeah. I mean, after the fact, but but then what about the books? Like, so even during
he's setting this example of
I'm
white knight.
Yes, I'm exemplary, fine, upstanding black male that's speaking to these women, and you can find these women, and you got women that have like left for relationships, right? Because women was coming out talking about, this messed up. I left, this, that, the other, and this advice. And
he was softening them up for himself then. He was like, yeah, let me.
That's what it was. And that's exactly what it was. Because the first 3, right? The first three knew who it was. He used to get in their DMs. They used to hit him up. He'd slide their DMs with, whatever. Okay, this, that, the other. Talk about them, talk about their situation.
I know a little bit about DMs.
Okay,
I don't learn.
Okay,
I had no idea.
He slid in the DM. That's what it was. So that's what they's calling out about. And then the last one, like I said, the last one was the nail in the coffin because she had these receipts. And then she also, one other thing, she said, if you look at a couple of videos, you'll see my house, my balcony in the background.
He was doing videos from her house?
From outside her house. And then when you go back and look at the videos, you see it's the same. It's 2 of the videos in the same place.
Okay.
So
he would do the video then go in here and holler this.
Either go holler or he was on his way leaving from cheating. From cheating. Talking about no good men. And he was one of the no good men.
Hey, man.
So
I guarantee you his content would have been better if he would have just talked about his adventurous lifestyle. Like, yeah man.
If he would have put himself in a place.
I'm married, but I got this doctor over here. She with it. That would have been. That's good content right there.
Or if he would have did a bare all at some point, bared his soul at some point, and then
the American people love a little drama, man. He would have had millions of views.
Yeah, he would have, but
he chose the other route.
He chose the other route, and he got his wife, and it escalated because he got his wife involved. He pulled her in on the video, and she had a bonnet on or some kind of whatever. And he's holding her hand tight as shit. I wish I had it queued up because it's funny as fuck. He held her hand tight while she talking or whatever. So everybody got on her. It was like, if you being held behind your against your wishes, just blink a couple times, whatever. They was on it. So then he responded to that, and he kept digging. They responded to that mess. So she came and did a video on her own, speaking about whatever. And she was like, y'all talking about this. This is not this. This is the bonnet, not the bonnet. She said this is something of salvation, talking about a bonnet or something. And I got the whatever. She went spiritual, like they in some kind of deep cult like.
So nobody else ever seen that particular spiritual head wreck.
No. It's no.
It's her
This.
own special.
Yeah.
She got
I think she like washes in holy water or something like
okay.
that. You know, it keeps her
Well,
away
hey,
from everybody else.
whatever it takes to get you to the next day, man. If that's she came up with what the magic pill for waking up in the morning feeling good about herself.
Feeling great. It was awesome to watch though, and I enjoyed it because that white knight Derek Jackson, somebody that I didn't really care for.
So he still has content.
Oh, you're still
I
on
heard,
there.
like I said, I heard his name several times, but I wasn't sure what he did. And my wife mentioned him and says, he's like a Kevin Samuels. I'm like, really? I'm like,
He's the anti Kevin Samuels. Yeah.
Wow.
And they was, matter of fact, during that time, right before all this happened, they were trying to push for him. They was putting stuff out. Trolling, talking about a versus battle with Kevin Samuels and Derek Jackson, but it was people just making it up. But that's what they wanted to see. And then boom, here we go. We got this mess to where he's been exposed. So, like I said, it was awesome, and I was there for all of it. I just it was a great thing to see for me. Anyway, folks, yeah, we ran that down. I had to run that down to him.
Just caught up.
Yeah, so right now I have another a self-proclaimed dating expert, and she's a Vice columnist. We're going to do a review of her video, and the video actually the title is "Women Don't Need Men, Never Have and Never Have," but I'm going to zero in on do Black women feel they need Black men, because she's a Black woman talking about this. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and roll the video. So that's talking about it. You could just hear what she's talking about.
It's gonna be a surprise for me too.
Yeah, he hasn't seen it, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll the video so you can see. Screen 2 over there. There we go. Wow. Which one I want to do? I want to do that one. No, I'll do this. I want y'all to see that video right there. Y'all need to see it. All right.
Okay, I don't have much time, but I wanted to share my thoughts on something I saw on the comment wall on the YouTube channel. This woman was talking about how, let me not lie, let me look at it right quick. Okay, that she had some guy who would hurl at her as if it were an insult, "You don't need a man." So let's talk about that real quick, because it's my stance that women have never needed men. Not from day one have women needed men.
Stop the tape.
What men did, knowing that.
Damn. Damn. Stop it.
I hadn't heard enough
Stop
yet.
it.
But she said women don't need a man and never have.
Never have. Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't have stopped to say. I just thought that was a very powerful statement because
no, she gives supporting points.
Oh,
so
she did. Yeah, I stopped it.
Okay, all right. Sorry, y'all. Okay, yeah, he was almost triggered. So
I got triggered.
Okay, so
that's possible.
Let's go ahead back and get it.
Was put structures in place since they were physically stronger and larger than women. It makes it a little bit more challenging to assert yourself. So women in their frightened state would acquiesce to what men wanted them to do, but it was out of fear and intimidation. It was not out of respect and admiration for how you treated her or power or anything. So, fast forward several.
Okay, we're gonna stop there because she's about to get into. She's talking about the past. So,
right.
what you got from that?
I always have a problem, and I shouldn't say always, but I have a problem when people can conjure up how somebody felt from thousands of years ago. And she seemed to, have the woman's point of view from thousands of years ago on why they acted the way they did.
You know what she's channeling somebody. You know who she's channeling?
Joan of Arc.
Shaka Khan. Shaka. I'm every woman.
I guess so.
she channeling Shaka Khan
because she made the statement about women not being as physically as strong as men to put structures in place, so they had to acquiesce to men. But what she's saying is that men purposely put the structures in place because women were less stronger,
and they did it. They put these structures in place so they can keep women up under them.
Nah.
Let's not talk about the fact that the world was not civilized, and let's not talk about the
world wasn't
fact that
civilized,
the
and it was,
wars and
it
everything.
was several men in that same position as the women. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Oh,
just,
yeah.
it's that's interesting.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I misunderstood.
Yeah,
but
no.
It still sounds interesting.
It's very interesting.
It's the word I'm gonna use.
Yeah, like I was saying, the issue with her train of thought is that she's not talking about how let's not even bring it back to ancient Rome, like when you had the superpowers over there, when it was very brutal.
Rome was
I mean,
running it, yeah.
if they didn't have boys that was up to par, they would kill them.
Yeah.
They would just kill them. So let's not even talk about the fact that that's what happened back in ancient Rome, right?
Yeah, it was
survival of the
survival
fittest. Yeah, it was survival of the fittest. So in that aspect, no, men did not put anything in place. That was the world.
That's how it worked. Yeah,
that was reality.
I always go back to nature. We have roles in this society, and it was much more pronounced a long time ago, before, like you said, before the world was civilized, and things were made easier through technology or whatever the case may be. But it's a reason men do what they do and women do what they do, and it's innate. It's not, you can teach somebody something different, but just naturally coming to this world, you already kind of veer off in a certain directions for the most part.
Okay, I'm gonna try the back. Yeah, nope.
Generations, millennials, hundreds of generations, whatever. And you have a situation where women have realized what's going on. I mean, you talk about from Victorian England, when women had to wear corsets where they couldn't breathe and would be passing out in order to have a tiny waist, because that's what men said that they wanted. In China, for hundreds of years, women were tortured, because that's what it is. It's torture, by having their feet bound, and allegedly the smaller your foot, the more desirable it was. So it was really all about some kind of sexual attraction for the men, but the way that they framed it for women was that it made you more beautiful. So they had to make it so that the parents of these girls and the girls would find this more palatable, and be more willing to endure this lifetime of agony. And you look at all the ways that women have been treated, burned at the stake and drowned. And
okay, I'm gonna stop there because she's going out of space with that one. So let's talk about the fashion, the whole fashion thing. If it was that a woman was trying to capture a man's attention, because back then women had to get him a man in order to survive. That's just what it was. Once again, this is the reality of the situation during that time. Which let's say today, at some point, women do kind of do that. They go get surgeries to get men attention. So
that's you took the words right out of my mouth. I was thinking just not just surgery, but women go through all kinds of struggles to. I don't know if it's for men, for women. I'm assuming so they can feel like they're looking their best. And these, in many cases, they're not. I don't think they're standards that men have put on them. I think it's that they put it on themselves amongst their peers, and they said, "Well, this is what men obviously want."
Well, and not even amongst their peers. Think about it. The competition. I mean, it's competition amongst other women. That if you see other women, like, okay, let's say you go to a club. Everybody go to a club. They see a woman out there that's clearly getting male attention. So she starts to measure herself up to whatever was going on. It was like, okay, damn, I need a big ass.
She got tiny feet. Bound my feet up.
Yeah. Well, back in China, that was from birth. I mean, they used to do that from children when he was children.
She got a tiny waist.
Let's go get tiny waist. Yeah, let's snatch this waist. Waist trainer and all that.
And I don't, it's men are visual creatures, but I think a lot of what women do, it's not visually appealing to a lot of men. I'm not gonna say, I can't speak for all men. I'm just this is my circle.
A lot of men have said they don't want heavy makeup, and they don't want them damn lashes.
The hair weave, all the accessories.
No, I think we gave on the weave. I think we kind of, because you remember back when we was in high school, like we used to talk shit about a woman if she had fake hair, but look, horse hair.
I had no idea.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, nah, we knew.
I took women at face value.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that's her hair. I'm like, why does it have such a different texture?
It's straw like.
It sounds silky down here, but up here it's almost like mine. It's nice and curled up real tight. But I was like,
There's a special brand of damn.
I knew about perms, so I said, well, maybe it's the perm. She hadn't had a perm in a while.
Yeah, it grew out.
But I had it just like I tell everybody about the story when I was 13, I think it was. And this lady, call her lady, she was a girl then that I caught myself liking. And I didn't realize she was wearing a heavy amount of makeup at the time. I'm being just a normal male. Didn't know that, but I was attracted to her at the time. Came to school one day without the makeup on, and I was like, "Who is that?" I think I might have told this story.
Yeah, you told. Yeah.
And from that point on, I was done with makeup. I was like, "Oh no, that you won't get me." But like I said, that was my ignorance as far as the makeup, the hair weave. I didn't know that that wasn't their hair. They had it in their head. Even though they would come to school some days and or it'd be a different length. But I was I just didn't pay that much attention to all that. So. But they do all kind of stuff. This is nothing new. This been going on since the beginning of time. Like.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, it's kind of new in our community, right? So that's why it's so major with black men now, is because back in the 60s and 70s, natural was beautiful. Like they embraced their natural beauty.
Oh yeah.
Like Pam Grier, Angela Davis with the big ass fro. That was beautiful. That's what men love that about black women, that natural. We after the 60s, well, late like mid 70s, you start to see women starting to do more, and I think it's more of a job situation because they had to cater to people on their job. They didn't want to be so Afrocentric in their workplace.
I think initially it probably was. Just a different look. Wow, I can get my hair to straighten out like that, or whatever the case may be, and then it became, people talk about the visualization that you see as far as what America considers to be pretty, and it was always most of the time it was usually a white woman, so of course she's gonna have like straight hair or whatever, and I guess it's long, but come to find out, white women were putting hair pieces
extensions,
in their hair
extensions,
no,
But I mean, like you said, it wasn't my point. It wasn't the black men that was telling them this.
No.
It was the standards given to them by American culture and everything.
American culture set these standards.
These magazines you go see when you stand up at the store, you see these magazines with women with certain hair.
I think the majority of it was American women setting this culture.
No, it is. Yeah,
I don't think it was the men who said, okay.
No.
Of course, men, they got their preferences, but I think you talk to a man, each man like something different, but it's
okay. And for women watching, right? Because we have more women viewers than men, majority of the time. Understand this: when we start talking about makeup and all that stuff, the defense is not that men must like it because they still go after women like that, because men are gonna go after women regardless.
Yeah, they can have on.
I don't. Yeah.
Nah, I'm okay. Nothing. But
men
are gonna approach women regardless of what they have on.
They're gonna approach women.
Yeah,
that's just what it is. But men, if you ask a man, majority of men will tell you they rather natural women
because
they
what you're waking up to.
Yeah, for that fact.
There's no surprises. No surprises.
Okay, let's get away from makeup now. Let's go. Let's get back into her words.
We'll make up bash later.
Yeah, no, we
make up shame.
Had spikes put in their mouth if they were deemed to be a gossiper. I mean, all kind of. I mean, I could go on and on and on about this because you study this stuff and it's just horrific, the things that men have done to women throughout history for no reason other than that they're women. It's like a man could do the exact same thing. Like if a man gossips or a man cheats on his wife or anything, those things didn't happen to him. But women, millions of women have disappeared off the face of the earth through history because of men's treatment of them. So
okay, we'll stop it there because no, men suffer consequences too. Men have suffered consequences. Wars, men back in the Wild West. If you said something about another man that was not true or whatever, you got dealt with right then and there. High noon, you got dealt with.
You had to deal with it. You had to show down, baby. But she's isolating everything, and she got to understand this is what people did to people. It wasn't a man versus a woman thing. It's just people of higher status or power exerted their forces on
Their
people
dominance.
over in lower stature. It's just that simple. She's trying to make it seem like they had targeted women to say, okay, we don't like, since the beginning of time, men have always liked women.
Of course,
And
of
did
course.
whatever it took to get to a woman. So
And women have always had that power.
absolutely.
It might not have been as loud as it is now.
Oh,
Like it's very loud
it
now,
was.
but it was very subtle.
It was subtle.
Mhm.
But women were aware of their power very early
Their
on
femininity, the power of
in their
femininity.
life. They were aware that they had a certain control over men, if you want to call it that.
Joan of Arc. I mean, just in history, wars was fought because of women.
Because of women.
Because of women. So they had that power.
Women start wars, men fight wars, and this goes on today.
Yeah, this is wrong. They got a lot of men in the grave and in jail because of women. So if we're gonna talk about the full picture, right?
Right.
The pendulum swung one way and swinging another. It's constantly moving, and it's what she's talking about. It happened. Then now we're in a place where women are more asserting dominance over different places that it didn't used to. So it's more equal in that aspect. But bring it back to black men. Black men never had that power to inflict whatever what she's talking about. Black men never had that power to do anything.
No.
We were together.
Right.
We were together in that struggle. As far as things happen to us. So
that's why I'm just sitting here like, this wasn't just women. This was a certain segment of society that all these things happen to. But interesting, man.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. She's a dating coach, y'all. This is a dating coach. This was telling women. This stuff she telling women.
When you have a situation where a man at one point can't stand you and is afraid of you, but at the other point knows that he needs you, he's got to adjust in his mind how he's going to keep you under control, because he needs to be in a psychological safe space where he has the upper hand. And I keep saying this. I don't even know how many times I can say this. Every single interaction that men have with women is about getting the upper hand. It's about controlling and dominating you. That's all they think about.
That's deep. That's deep.
What about that? Everything we do, everything men do.
I'm beginning to repeat myself because but I have to disagree. I mean, everything men do is to get women. It's not about controlling the dump. I don't know.
It's for the okay. So based on the content we've watched, women are we're the consumer of women.
Absolutely.
So we do stuff to get women, right? Or get their attention, peacocking. That's where the phrase peacocking comes from.
More appealing to women.
To be more appealing to women. That's what we do. To be more appealing to women, because the product is the woman. Things women do to get our attention is because we're the product of women. Men are the product of women, so they do stuff for us. I mean, it's not a one-way street like she's trying to make it seem.
It's not. But I just, the fact that she can speak so readily about the majority of people, of men, and so they do this to assert their dominance, and okay, she seems like she.
Heidi said, when it comes to violent death, the leading cause for women in Canada is at the hands of their spouse. I mean, and I understand that. I mean,
that's for everybody too.
Yeah. I mean, and there's also women that do that to men, that kill their husbands.
It's women that kill their husbands, but men kill people at a higher rate anyway. I mean, it's gonna be
men are more aggressive than women, so it's not a man or woman thing. Domestic violence is, it's a real thing. It's a real thing, but it's close proximity, just like crime in the black community.
You're dealing with a man. If you had a world with nothing but men, and guess who getting killed? I mean,
is men getting killed?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, that's just the nature of man, and you can't take it away from them because they were born that way.
Like I said, everything really is close proximity. Like when they try to put the numbers on black crime, and these high numbers. Yeah, it's the black people gave a problem because look at the percentage of black on black crime. It's because black people are in close proximity with each other.
They live next door to each other.
Spouses are in close proximity with their husbands. You know what I mean? It's not like their husbands be gone fighting war somewhere and somebody else come kill them. No, they every day they're together, day in and day out, and whatever's going on, there's abusive people also. Whatever's going on, the victims become the women in that situation.
Or the children.
Or the children, yes. Or if you look at, we have same-sex marriages now. So when the figures come out from that, you're going to see that, majority of the time, I don't know if the men, because I don't know about that. I'm not in that community. I don't know if the men are going to be found to have, more deaths versus the women, same-sex women.
I want to say I read something on this. Not, I may have it wrong, but we can. This is a homework assignment for everybody who wants to know. It is showing that the same-sex situation with women is more violent than the men.
I read that. So what it is, that's the and I was talking about strictly about somebody killing somebody. So yeah, domestic violence amongst same-sex women couples are higher. Domestic violence in that situation is higher. So
because I think we off topic slightly, but I think many times women don't look at it as being violent because they haven't done any true physical damage. They hit somebody. It's not. You hadn't destroyed anything. You hadn't brought any kind of damage.
No, I think it's actually. I think it's physical. No, it's physical.
Oh no, I'm saying it is physical, but you say like if a woman is mad at you, and I saw what's the guy's name who's getting who wife said he was abusing is it Johnny Depp?
Okay, yeah. With that whole video, whole tape situation.
He was like, so what about when you hit me?
Yeah.
And her whole response to, well, I'm not hurting you.
I'm not hurting you.
Yeah, but that's still a violent act.
Yeah.
Regardless of the outcome. What your intent of the act was, to
inflict some kind of pain.
Inflict pain. Yeah. If that's the case, you would have kept your hands to yourself.
Emotional or physical
and that's what I meant when I was like, it's not a destructive violence, but it's still a violent act. Just because you can't, hit the ball out of the park when you hit it, don't mean that you didn't try to hit, try to hit the ball. I used a baseball analogy.
It faces the ball.
Well, just some people can hit home runs, some people can't, even though they both, doing the same thing.
Same-sex domestic violence goes underreported because it isn't viewed by society as wrong as a man beating on a woman. Okay. And like I said, I don't know the numbers. I don't know the figures. But I do know that it has been reported more with women, same-sex women marriages or women couples with women being in the same-sex relationship. So when these figures come out some years from now, let's say 10 years from now, whatever, if it shows that women are
more violent,
let's get back to the video. I don't want. Let's get back to.
I'm going to be misogynist.
Let's get back to. Let the video. Let the video.
Every single move they make is about that, from religion to money to voting power to the men jumping up and down and excited about Trump, getting rid of Section 8 and welfare and subsidies for seniors and stuff. They're thinking, well, only women get those things. And so that'll make them have to, quote, need us. So you see what?
Okay, go ahead.
No,
I wanted to complete that thought.
How did it get all the way to Trump and Section 8? So she just saying,
but that doesn't affect black men. See, and this is the problem, right? This is a problem I have, and I've been talking about for years, right? Is that, and even when talking to my sister or whatever, is that a lot of black women don't see themselves in the same place as black men. They see themselves somewhere else off to the side, in competition to black men instead of in the same situation with black men.
With black men, I guess that's societal pressures that creates that competition. I'm not sure where that comes from. Well, that's exactly where it comes from, because the structure of the black community since, like I say, I guess the late 70s, mid to late 70s, it has been divided, where women are in the house alone and men are over here. So not even in the house, they just over here to the side or whatever. So I think that's where I'm guessing that's where the competition comes in. But
well, no, and you know what, I had this every time I do start doing a podcast. When I do a podcast, it's because stuff I've
seen
seen during the weekend, or something that's like just piqued my interest, or something I had to look into, right? So 1965,
Mhm.
I think it's 65. I think I'm correct on that. There was a report called the Moynihan Report, right? It was this white man, last name Moynihan.
Mhm.
Um, he did a report to say what would happen if black people, no, if they gave subsidies and welfare to black women.
Mhm. Oh, I heard about
You
this.
heard about it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so in that report, it told exactly what
What?
is happening now,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I don't know whether the powers that be didn't want to listen to him, or we fought that black folks,
Mhm.
got uprise because of that, or if they knew that this might be correct, and he was like, okay, you know what? Because even after, like I told you, I said this before on the channel, after that happened, that report came out, there was a study, and it might have been during that report, and it might have been the reason for the report. Actually, there was a study that was with twins and triplets, and they were trying to see what would happen if you had uh, fathers prominent in life, uh, a father that was around some, or a father that was gone all the time, right? And they that's what they've tried to see, what how the kids would be raised and how the kids would turn out.
Mhm.
And they knew the effects of not having a father in the household, and that's what this Monahan report was saying. Also, is that if the women got rid of the men, they have men in the household, it would create a certain effect. And now we see it in crime. We see it. Hey, Ashley, how you doing? Uh, we see that in we see it in the crime statistics. It's been on a rise ever since '70s.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's all because of single parent households. I'm not saying all, because we still have drugs. Drugs play a huge factor in our community as far as what we have today. But it got the ball rolling, I think. With less structure in the household, men were the structure,
Right. They're
the
disciplinarians in
disciplinarians
most
majority
cases.
of the time, and it took the structure, and then when you take that out the household, that's generation one that you have. The structure starts to get lenient. Generation one, so you start the morals or whatever starts to waver,
Mhm.
and then you got generation two where you got a little bit further away from the structure, and it's a snowball effect, and,
Yeah. Then you get what you have
then you
today.
get what you have today. I mean, crime is crazy with the black youth.
Oh man,
It's just
it's
not to
off the
say they ain't
charts.
white youth, but with the black youth in our community, it's
It's and it's the percentages that make it bad because it's you know we know everybody commits crime, every
hmm
race, but we're doing it at a higher rate, that's the disturbing part for me.
hmm
But about that report you were talking about, I don't think I don't know if people are that advanced as far as being malicious or anything.
hmm
I don't think they thought that this far ahead, like this is going to destroy the black community. They call themselves trying to fix a problem,
hmm
and these are what they call unintended consequences.
hmm
We just give because for whatever reason in America, if you throw money at it, then that should fix it. And it doesn't.
Actually, I don't think they knew from that aspect, that depth. But if you remember, during the Black Power struggle,
Mhm,
they labeled him as public enemy number one.
mhm.
So they was trying to get rid of the
Those
leaders,
different power structures.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
the leaders, the people that we were following.
Mhm,
So they were trying to undermine that. So it actually went together with that
okay.
report was saying, because the people they killed was black males.
Mhm.
It was black males. It was, it wasn't. They had black women that died. What I'm saying is they target the black males.
Right,
Black women
because they
died
they were they were
as a
mostly
fallout.
in the leadership
Mhm.
positions.
And take a break. 8 p.m. today. Ashley, she has her podcast today. Black Girl Interrupted. She's talking about suicide. She's talking about her bouts with suicide, and if you ever thought about that, and you need some therapy, or you need to just hear somebody else's views, and maybe want to express your thoughts, and share your information, or share your experience, go over to Black Girl Interrupted. It's at 8 p.m. you know uh, yes, 8 p.m. today. So Go ahead and tune in to Black Girl Interrupted. She has good content, and it's always something that's kind of therapeutic, and she really bears her soul on a lot of stuff, and it's a lot of it's touching. I'll be like, oh damn, damn shit, So
Got you in your field.
yeah, got you in your feelings, definitely. So if you want to oh, okay. She said her daughter will be joining as well. So I've seen one where a daughter, he talked about their past issues, whatever.
Gotcha.
So it's one of them things of you want to know about healing the divide with your children or something. Go check her out and oh, no problem, Ashley. Hey, you give us love too, man. You know what it is over here. So you don't even need to say that. It's all good. Um, like I said, Black Girl Interrupted. Go check it out. You can put it in YouTube. Go check out on YouTube. But back to what I was saying. It's crazy. Like we never, as Black folks, like when we start talking about this whole gender thing, we have women. Like I said, the topic is do they feel like they need Black men? When we talk about this, right? You hear all kind of negative connotations, negative talk about how Black men did certain things and to the family back in the day. Back in the day, right? Without mentioning anything else that could have been a factor to what was going on. And like I said, even with the Monahan report, right? It's clearly stated that if you give the women money and in place of healing the community or dealing stuff with the community as a whole, that you have women that choose to have the money instead of the men over the relationship and the men. And that's actually what happened. And then I used to say that it was the feminist movement that used to be my um and yeah, and I should say not all Black men are bad, but that's where we got to now. That's where we got to now. That's the message that people are trying to push. That we have no value. And don't get me wrong, ladies. There's some sorry ass Black men, but what I had to like in talking to other women, we can agree with this, right? And when I say this, you give me your thoughts on it. Black women and Black men both agree the same thing. A sorry Black man ain't worth shit. A sorry Black man ain't worth shit. I mean, so if Black men agree to that, right? I mean, is that your okay? So if we agree to that, right? That's something that we both agree to. So by women focusing on those Black men, that is the problem.
Yeah.
The problem is that you're focusing on something that we both agree that is not worth your time.
Right.
But you give it your time, and at some point, you're gonna have to accept accountability for the fact of you choosing wrong. You picking wrong.
Picking these jokers, man.
Ashley says she loves us so much, and she hates the world does not see the value in us. I mean, and it's been that way since we came to this country. So, for Black men, it's always it's just more of the same stuff.
Right.
So it's not really it's not anything extra, but I think with us over time, so many centuries, so many hundreds of years away from slavery, that we still have to have the same issues, so to speak, or we still have to fight the same issues, and not only outside our community, but inside our house. And that's the problem, right? Is that we have to deal with this stuff inside the house. So when you have a Black man and he has certain issues, first of all, you have to understand that women, y'all might not hear this from the media or whatever, but Black men want Black women because you're our resting place for our issues. We fit, right? If it's a puzzle piece, we should fit. Yes, we should fit. So if we don't have y'all in our corner, I mean, where can we turn when we have issues? Where we can turn? If you can't turn to us, it's what is it? The law of war or whatever. Hey, you divide and conquer. If we divided, that's why we're in the last place on almost everything.
Yeah, we should.
We shouldn't be. We're such a powerful people. that we should be way further than we are.
At the top.
Ashley said, as a beautiful black woman, I walk with you. I love you. I'm your peace. I'm your comfort zone. I'm your protector. And that's basically, I think now we starting to hear different we're starting to hear different content from black men. And they are they're starting to speak about this, and that's why I think a lot of black women are trying to be more vocal and trying to they're throwing a lot of stuff. Like I see a lot of stuff in social media where it's just a lot of hatred, and like I said, ladies, from a black man standpoint, men that aren't worth your time, you shouldn't be giving your time. I mean, I don't think any man worth anything, any black man worth anything is gonna uphold a black man that is not doing what he's supposed to do.
Right.
That is sorry as shit. And
how you keep finding these guys? Maybe it ain't the men. That's.
But I mean, they have men. No, I mean they have men out there, but
oh yeah. But I mean, you get cues early on.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah,
and I guess people can put on a good show, but
yeah.
I mean, it's people talking about they been dealing with somebody for 5
5
years.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
and have multiple babies with them.
Come on,
man. Yeah, and at some point, and this is not my idea. This is not my thought, and I've had this thought before, but I didn't bring this out. But at some point, y'all ladies got to start calling these ladies out and stop getting behind them. Yeah, girl, strong independent woman, and just call out, well, that's bad behavior. Right. You have to be that because of your bad choices.
Right. But black women, for the most part, they kind of stick together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
They're not gonna too tough to Now, once they're amongst each other, they go at each other. But outside of that, you can't do. It's almost like how a woman protects her children.
Yeah.
She know her baby ugly, but you call her baby ugly. It's a problem.
It's a problem. Oh, my ugly baby. Now you better not call her.
Right,
but no, but the problem is, right, it gives negative results. Right. It's counterproductive. It doesn't fix anything. Yeah, it doesn't fix anything, and it's counterproductive, really, because if you cheer on your black woman that
bad behavior
has bad behavior, you cheer on, right? You start taking that same image.
You take that image as well as you don't correct the bad behavior, and you may not be able to, but at least it's out there.
At least somebody heard you say it. Yeah. So to men, right, if it's a whole man-woman thing, gender thing, right? To men, if we hear y'all cheering another woman on, and we hear nobody correct them, then what it has, all of y'all the same.
Yeah, she's just like her.
Yeah. All of y'all the same. So if y'all want different results, and this is just my theory, for my limited years on this planet and my interactions with people and understanding and reading people and getting to know people and just viewing everyday life, and social media is everyday life now, whether you want to like it or love it, whatever, believe it, it's part of everyday life. Some people got some wild views, man, and the thing is that you have to call that out, or once again you start sharing that image of the woman that is the worst of you.
Right.
Men have no problem calling out the dude that ain't shit. Right. We have no problem calling out that dude.
Right.
If he's abuser, if he's violent, he's a criminal. If he leaves his kids, he's a deadbeat father. Yeah, we will talk shit about
not just call him out, but we're not going to make excuses for him either.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of times, well, a lot of, it's almost like the parental role, how mothers will make excuses for their kids. Well, my baby ain't never hurt nobody. But,
yeah. But when you hear that, where you hear that from, though?
There you go.
Majority of the time. Yeah. So, Ashley said, yeah, and I know, and that's one thing about Ashley, her content, like she's all about accountability of your choices and what you do. That's another reason. Like, if you want to hear that part from a woman, not from me, not from him, go over there, Black Girl Interrupted. She's all about, holding yourself accountable for the choice you make, because you can't say that we're equal, men and women are equal, if you're not willing to share that same accountability.
That same responsibility of correcting your peers.
Yes. She said, we as Black women are afraid to call out another sister for fear of losing a friend. Yeah. But you might lose a friend, or you might correct her to where she becomes she makes better choices.
Right.
You might help her. I mean, it's called tough love. That's what we need to start having.
And
We used to have that in the community, in the black community.
yeah, it's a real thing. And I think it's quite needed. But it's a kind of gentler world today, so it's looked down upon in many cases.
Mm.
Tough love.
No, yeah.
Let's get back to
let's get back to the video.
Deborrah Cooper.
Yeah, Miss
I'm
Cooper.
off my train of thought about
Yeah.
what she was talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did
sir.
too. And so
I mean, it's a twisted mentality. They're not thinking about all the children and women and senior old people that can't work, that'll be put out on the street and trying to figure out a way to live. They're not thinking about that. All they're thinking about is, I'm gonna feel better. I'm gonna be in power, and they're gonna need me. So, I'm looking at that, and it's like, dudes need a reality check. Not one woman on this planet needs you, ever. The women do not need you. What you have done is try to change and structure society, and you've used religion and you've used laws to keep women under control. What do you think all this stuff is about? Not giving women access to birth control and abortion. That's about forcing women to have children for men that they don't want to have. And when you're pregnant, you're more easily controlled.
go. He started. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I think she no accountability. She completely removed any account. They use birth. I thought it was interesting. She went to the abortion thing. I've always said that's one thing in life that never has to happen. You never have to get pregnant. Those laws are. I mean, whether you agree with them or not, they have nothing to do with being pregnant or or having kids. That's
well, the initial when the laws first passed, we didn't have all the forms of birth control back then. So initially, I agree with her initially, but it wasn't because of they weren't trying to control a woman's body. They were trying to control the outcome, because the one thing white people fear, and I'm generalizing white people, sorry, because I have some white viewers, but DM me. But the one people that white people in power fear is losing that power and becoming a minority, and that's in America. We talking strictly in America. That's why they didn't want to do anything with birth control, because if you look at the figures, in general, white people have a lower birth rate than African American and Hispanics. So in general, that's the reason why the laws they didn't want birth control. I mean, not birth control. They didn't want the abortion and all that. They're fighting against that because they fear the outcome of women, white women getting abortions.
Well, I just I'm gonna go check this lady out a little bit more. She does a lot of cherry picking as far as what she uses to
talking points
to prove her point. But it's far, but it's a lot of people who think just like her.
Yeah.
So this is a real, this is a real interaction. Well, not an interaction, but I'm getting real information from how certain women feel. And she obviously feels pretty strong about it. So
yeah, she made a video, 11-minute video. Anything else on what you're saying?
No, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna be over here just making faces, man. This is gonna be our reaction. I'm let it play as long as you want.
Okay.
I'm just gonna try to take mental notes.
Because you're in a state where you can't really defend yourself, and it changes your body so that you can't run as fast, you can't fight as well. You can't defend yourself, so you have to be in a position where you are depending on someone to help you. They want that to be them, although they.
Okay, so she made a point, then she made a counterpoint. She went totally against her point. She said men don't want women to be want to control their body by not giving abortions. But women control that.
Hey.
And they trying to say that
she's saying a lot of stuff.
We want women to be pregnant so they can't fight, they can't run fast, they can't.
All right.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, that's why.
Turn around and abandon you, but that's another story. By having women not be able to get access to legal and safe and clean abortions, getting access to birth control, so then they have to get pregnant. There's a law that I'm going to be talking about here in California now that was signed in last year, where now it's no longer a felony if you screw a man and he has HIV. He doesn't have to tell you anymore. It's no longer a law that has to happen. And
yeah, she jumped around, but also, what if a woman don't have to tell a man either, right?
Right.
And
She just like I said, no accountability. She just puts it all on the men. You know.
so and statistically, right, it showed that women pass on. Stop.
Really?
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
have this.
yeah.
that he
No,
can be
no,
prosecuted.
women pass it on because pass it on faster than men.
Really?
Yeah,
I had no idea.
yeah,
Which I'm strictly about HIV.
yeah. HIV. Yeah,
Okay.
and it might be other STDs or whatever, but no, it's yeah. They showed that women are
Mm.
they pass it on faster.
Okay.
If he doesn't. Now it's just considered a misdemeanor. Okay? So all of this is about controlling women and putting you in a position where you think that you need a man. And I'm telling you, y'all better get your minds right because things are getting ready to change. They've already begun. There has been for the last 20 years a serious war on women. I am not exaggerating this. I did a talk about it on my blog talk show probably, I don't know, 10, 11 years ago. And there's is this like this organized hatred of everything female by men, even to the point where men now putting on wigs and getting hormone shots and stuff and claiming that they're women and trying to usurp your authority over what you are by claiming that they are that. So I mean, if you guys don't see what's going
Okay, man. Let me just. I know you got something to say. Uh,
Good.
Once she said she was in California, then I was good. I was
You
like,
knew.
oh, all right,
He was like, all right.
This explains everything. So that's cool. Go ahead, man.
So based on what she's saying is that men are putting on dresses, taking hormone shots to undermine women,
Child,
to undermine women.
they're going a long way, man.
To me,
I'm telling
to me,
you,
that's kind of based like almost narcissistic of
of women. She is all over the place. First of all, but the examples that she's using are so obscure, and
Mhm.
come on. But like I said, when she said she was in California, I was like, okay, well,
is different world.
I'm not gonna be surprised by anything she says from here on out. That
Okay.
that cleared it up.
So
for
so
me.
you good? You good?
I'm
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna take maybe about a few more because we almost to an hour. I'm gonna take maybe a minute or two more of this, and then we could cut it off.
Okay.
Miss California.
on here. I mean, that's fine because will be planning to do some more videos about it. But seeing her comment and this guy being very abusive emotionally to her because he feels like, you don't need a man, you got everything that you wanted while you were single. So can any woman. And it would be really great if the younger women got an understanding of what's going on here and stopped having all these damn babies. We're going to be doing a chat about that next week. I have a group of women, a team of women, and we're going to be talking about the long-term repercussions of that socially, physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially on young black women, and one of the contributing reasons why black women are at the bottom economically in this country. Also the ones with the most as I say, babies by miscellaneous stray knickknacks. So, something's got to change here, ladies. We really got to change. But this mentality that you need a man, that, you have to have a man, that's what they want you to think so that you will freeze in positions. You won't want to accomplish things on your own. You won't want to buy your own home. You won't want to travel by yourself and see the.
Okay. So
I like her background music though. I was
yeah,
just
yeah, it's
grooving
very
over
soothing
her.
and
I was like,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, that's about the best thing of this whole video. Yeah, but so yeah, and you know what? I agree with her. So you know what? I'm gonna stop at a place where I agree with her. I'm
Okay.
not gonna go no further
Tell me
because
what you agree
so
on.
I agree with the fact that stop having all these babies because it's and it's not just black women that are at the bottom because of this. It's the community. It's the black community that's at the bottom because of we're just having kids, just out here having kids, and we're not building anything. We're not building a community. You have singles. We have each person singular entity over there. Where it divides us further because we have no unity. I agree that and she accidentally placed accountability on the women. I don't think she meant to do that, but she accidentally placed accountability on the women when she said, "Stop having all these babies," right? Because women they control the access to their womb.
Hey, I promise you though, if you let it go of another 30 minutes,
Now, I'm
she
not.
clear that
She
accountability.
probably. I'm not gonna do
But
that.
the reason I can't even, that statement is very accurate, but from my aspect, don't tell them to stop having these babies. Put it in the correct context.
Yeah.
The children need to be born in a certain context.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's a covenant between a man and a woman. That's how that's how life should start. It was a time when if you were a single mom, or you were out of wedlock and pregnant, then you'd be looked down upon.
You shunned by community.
And I'm not saying that's necessarily the way to go, but it kept people from it kept people having kids in wedlock. And everybody may not agree with marriage, but you need to have some kind of covenant in place when you start to create other human beings. Bringing lives into this world. You can't just and that's been there since the beginning of time. You brought a life into this world. You stuck around until that life was reared to an age where they could start to take care of themselves. Yeah, and it's innate. Nobody had to tell us this, although they preach to us like, you got to be a good dad or a good mother, but that's just human beings. That's just human nature. These things, but now kids are an accessory. I don't think people give it a second thought about having a child. So yeah, when she said stop having these babies, that's very true. But I want her to put it in the context, because women are going to continue to have children.
Well, she can't put it in the context because you know why?
Accountability.
No, because her whole message goes against that. We don't need men.
We don't need men. Yeah.
Her whole message goes against that, so she will not put that in context.
Yeah,
it doesn't go with a message.
Can't have a baby without a man, and I don't care how you go about doing it. The man had to.
Well, you can. I mean,
no, you cannot.
Yeah, no, you can get but it's very expensive. You can.
Well,
it's very expensive, and majority of people can't do that.
Well, here's the thing.
Take that route.
That sperm came from somewhere.
No, it came from somewhere, but I'm saying without having the man.
Well, that's my whole thing is you cannot. That sperm came from a male somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I'm done. Go.
No. I'm gonna stop at the point where we kind of agree. I don't want to go bashing the sister, bashing.
End on a good note.
Yeah. We gonna end on a good note on this.
Way to go, Ms. Cooper.
But like in our community, there was, and I'm gonna mention them now because it goes with this. Did you see Kevin Samuel did something with a therapist, and they were talking about, do black women feel like they belong to black men? Did you see that?
Give me. I see a lot of these clips.
Okay, so he was asking his therapist about do black women feel they belong to black men?
Is that the one where he kind of like got emotional?
At the end. Yeah. So he had to, and this is a black woman. She's educated and she's a therapist. I'm saying therapist. She might have been a psychologist. She might have been further than that. But what he did, she said, yeah, they feel that way, and she was sticking to because. And she had because that, right? And then he went and asked her follow-up questions. He said, do you think white women feel like they belong to white men? And she said, yeah. He said, do you feel like Asian women belong to Asian men? Yeah. Do you feel like Hispanic women feel like they belong to Hispanic men? She said, yeah. He said, now do you feel like black women feel like belong to black men? She couldn't answer. She was like, well, see, that's a tough question. That's it. It's a tough question.
Putting all these caveats.
Yeah, the caveats started going up. If this, if that, and then when you cut all that, she had to say no. Right. At the very end, she had to say no.
She had to be honest, but it still took it took her 5 or 6 minutes to be honest.
To be honest about the situation, fully,
and you're
accountable.
You supposed to hold people accountable.
Accountable, yes, very much so.
And it took everything in her soul to say, okay, to get the truth out of her. And that's an indictment on a lot of things. I'm not going to start putting my fingers on exactly who, but that's a big indictment right there when you're dealing with a therapist. And I'm gonna say she refused to be honest, until she was pressed into coming up with an answer.
Till she couldn't, because even at that, she tried to say that because the initial statement was about black women smiling at black men,
right,
just being pleasant to black men, and his point was that every black woman expects a black man, if they're in trouble, a black man to help them out. Every black woman expects that, right? So the thing was that why can't a black man expect I'm gonna share that. I'm probably gonna share it on this video, Ashley. I'm probably gonna link that on it because he cut it down. It's only 22 minutes. Usually his lives are like 2 hours. So I'm just gonna. I think he cut that one down. It was a 22-minute video, and I'm gonna share that on this. I'm gonna put the link up. But Yeah, all black men are asking for to be pleasant with them, right? And then we're not talking about the guys that mean you no harm, they mean you harm or whatever. We talking about just in general, like black men want to feel like you don't look at us like the enemy. I got a quick story. I was what else 20s, about in my 20s, and I was somewhere going to dinner, and I was going to meet this woman. She's a learned woman. She graduated from Oglethorpe. She wasn't white, she was Brazilian, but she looked, you know so I'm standing out waiting for her because she was late. She was on CP time. How dare her? I was supposed to be the one late.
Hey, it's really woman time. Okay,
But
go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, true. But so there, this sister was walking towards me, and I kind of backed up because I was on the sidewalk. I backed up and say, "Hey, how you doing?" She looked at me like, kind of up and down, right?
I already know how this going to end.
Yeah, no, she looked at me up and down. So I'm like, oh, okay, wow, I didn't do shit to her, but okay. So she walked past me and she went, she was meeting a white guy. She hugged him and she was so pleasant, nice smile and everything. They went to the restaurant, sat out in the patio. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow. So I'm just like, this is some bullshit, because even at that, I'm like taking mental note, like, this is messed up. Like,
Right.
I spoke to her. Like it was just being polite. And so my date came up. She pulled up. She was in a Rolls Royce. She drove a Rolls Royce. She had money. And then she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like she screamed out, "I'm so sorry, I'm late." I'm like, "No, go park, whatever." I go, if they gotta wait, I go put my name and I'll be back out. And I turned around, look, the woman was looking at me like, "Who is this
Like,
Nick Nog?"
delicious.
Look, I'm gonna use that word. Who is this Nick Nog? Who is
Hey,
that's the new word we're gonna use instead of nigga. I'm gonna start using that word.
You became incredibly handsome all of a
Yes,
sudden.
I was a different dude because the way she looked at me, the way she looked at me, I'm like, wow, like, and I'm like, man, this is crazy.
Hey.
And then so I went and told the people, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna sit out in the patio. It's nice outside. Yeah, I'm an asshole. Everybody that need to know I'm an asshole. I'm petty as hell. Just so y'all know my character, right? I'm gonna admit my character. So anyway, I walked back outside. She got out, banging body, banging body. She was not. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was. She was a winner. If in my 20s, if when I viewed just about body and all that other stuff, she fixed all the check boxes. So I gave her a hug, kiss, whatever on the cheek, turned back around, and the girl was watching me for the. She watched. She couldn't even focus on our date after that point. Couldn't focus on. And I made sure to do everything special and whatever. Pulled out the woman's chair and everything. I made sure to do all the little things. And she could not focus. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I already
knew how the story
this is crazy.
I knew how the story was going.
Ashley said, yes, I am. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna admit to my shit, Ashley. I'm not gonna lie to nobody. You ain't gonna catch me like Derek Jackson. I'm gonna admit to all my bullshit. But
but it's a couple things that go into that. But one of them, like you said, that was always my personality. When you step into a room, and because I work in service, so I'm constantly going into new places. Good morning. I speak to people, and people, and I'm not even gonna put this on women, black women, put like that. But women, I'm just being cordial. I'm not trying to pick you up or any of that stuff. That's just the way it's just nice to speak to people. People need human interaction, and that's what I do. It's nothing to tell somebody good morning. Like you were saying, how hard is it to smile? Hard is to say good morning, or
2 words.
Case. Yeah. But hey, like I said, I knew how that story was gonna end. I done seen it so many times over and over. You one thing in a certain light, and as soon as that light changes, like, oh my goodness, who is this guy?
You exemplary, whatever, Nick Nog, whatever the word is. God dog, it's exemplary, extraordinary. There we go. Let's get
extraordinary.
He's Django. Yeah, look at this extraordinary. Who that nigga on there? I'm gonna watch. Since you say that, every time I think about that movie, I watch that movie, man. I love that movie. Yeah, but yeah, no, and that's the thing. Do black women feel they need black men?
I just want to say this. I hope that I think a lot of times people get caught up in the wording when you hear need,
Mm-hmm.
but in reality it is a need.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same aspect, black men need
Need black women. Yes,
black women. You
I
know,
agree.
this is not putting you down. Somewhere you need me and
Mm-hmm.
without me,
No,
it's
yeah,
not that. It's just that we work together. And I don't want to. Well, I ain't gonna go too deep, but we work
no,
together.
go
We
ahead.
were
I mean,
created.
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying we were created that way to work
Yeah.
together to procreate
Mm-hmm.
and to create other human beings that
Mm-hmm.
hopefully work.
No, and I don't know if you catch the latest Kevin Samuels video. He was talking to a woman, and basically, the whole need of a black man. He's been talking about this for a couple weeks.
Okay.
He's been a couple weeks. He's been talking about it. I came across this video, and it kind of lined up with what he's been talking about.
Check it out.
But the whole thing he's trying to tell black women is that when all this is over, at the end of your time where you can't work no more and you can't have hot girl summer and you can't live your best life, when you look over to your side, the right or your left, who's going to be there for you?
Right.
Who's going to help take care of you?
Right.
um we need each other.
That's what I'm saying, and we need each other. It's not but and in that need, let's allow people to accept their roles in society. Well, in biology, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
say,
not even society. Yeah, you're right.
but but we need each other. Simple as that.
Mm.
That is that is such an eye opening statement.
Mm.
You know, we're not gonna be healthy forever.
No, no.
We're not gonna not even healthy. Well, yeah, healthy.
Yeah, yeah.
But outside of that, even if you're not healthy, open this pickle jar for me. Or
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's like, come on, stop it,
Rub
it.
my back. My
There you
back
go.
is hurting.
There you go. There you
Run
go.
me some bath water. I mean, baby, help me do this. Help me. Just somebody there to
Like he always says, to chronicle your life with
Yeah,
somebody who's going to take note of all the ups and downs
yeah.
that you experienced in life, and I think that's a very important thing. That's because it's nothing like it's as slow as sometimes it seems to go. Life is very fast. I
Mm-hmm.
never
Yeah.
thought I'd be the age I was now,
No,
and
we thought this was old.
yeah. Oh, look at that
I thought
old
my
man.
dad was old when
Right.
when he's in 40s.
And
Oh man.
it goes by so fast. When you don't have anybody to share that with,
Mhm.
where you can reflect on different. I mean, of course you can do that alone, but it's not quite the same. When you share that moment with somebody else.
Ashley says she needs a black man. Emphasis in need. No, we need each other. And this, if anybody that comes along or that's watching this, feel this was a attack on black women, I'm sorry. If you triggered, I'm sorry. But i- if we're gonna be real about shit, I mean, we're gonna talk about stuff. Um, and I don't know what your purpose is and all this, but my purpose is I would love to see the black community get back to where it was in the 60s.
Mhm.
I would love to see that family unit. I would love to see that strong bond between women and men. So if we're going to do that, we have to talk about where we're failing at. We have to talk about why we failed. We have to talk about all these things in depth in order to get a full picture and see where we need to bring it back together and see what we need to correct. I mean, we need to course correct at this point. And it's a serious thing, because in our generation, we in the next 15 years or so, we're going to be coming up to the point where we're going to see a bunch of women that that are going to be alone. And if they've been doing what they've been doing, we need to normalize healthy black relationships. Yes, Ash, I believe the same thing. We're going to see if they've been based on society, living their best life, going travel this baby, they haven't been saving money. So we're gonna see an influx of black women and black men, because black men do it too. But I'm more concerned with the black women, because that is.
I'll say it. So
Go
you
ahead.
don't
Go
get
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because at any point, a man, for the most part, men were expected to work to be able to provide, and that wasn't really the expectation of women. So once they get up in age, a lot of times, I don't want to use the word value, but it's it's not it doesn't make as much sense. It's just not logical for them to continue to work through those processes at a certain age. I know men, and I'm sure it's split in women, but I mean like physical labor men who work until their 70s
Yeah,
and
until he's
80s
70. Yeah, my
easily.
father is 71, and 70. He retired at 70. Just made 71. But he until his 70s he worked.
Yeah,
So
that's not uncommon. That you know, but we live in a society now where women actually do work. They want to
mm,
contribute
mm,
in the workforce. There's nothing wrong with that. But from the beginning of time, men were always the laborers. They
mm,
they
the
they were they
workhorses.
were the
Hmm.
muscle.
Hmm.
They got things created or built or whatever the case was. And that wasn't really how society was set up for women. It was set up for them to be, I'm gonna say, at home. Taking care of the family, and that was they were fit for that role. They were
Hmm.
suited for that role, and it actually worked out very well. But now we all into the love,
Hmm.
and it gotta
Disneyfication of
yeah, gotta
mm, mm,
complete me and all
mm.
that good stuff.
um but I want to, like, and this is my thing. I think, like, people don't understand this. Women, you don't understand this, is that because of this, not being able to partner with us and live our life out together, your lifespan is going to get shorter.
Oh yeah.
And that's something that I don't hear people talking about, is that just because usually the man dies before the wife,
Hmm.
usually, like, I want to say 70 something percent,
Hmm.
like, it's high. Usually the man dies before the wife. So in this scenario, the way we're living today, women, your lifespan is going to cut short.
Let me
Go
jump
ahead.
in
Go
there.
ahead.
And that was because the man was the workhorse. He
Hmm.
was the labor. He
Hmm.
did it.
Yeah.
But when you start accepting that role as a woman, then you start to fall to the same ills that
Hmm.
brought the man down early in age, as far as
Yeah.
his life expectancy. So now you're seeing it's, and this is I'm just give y'all they call it bro sign. I'm giving you my
Hmm.
personal opinion.
Okay.
That's why, depending on the environment you're in, women start to get facial hair and
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that because
Hmm. Yeah.
they're creating more of a
Masculine.
hormone
Hmm.
that their body's not
Testosterone.
that exactly.
Mm.
But that you're exactly right about the lifespan,
Mm.
because now you're taking on the same roles that men were. Like I said, we were created for this in biology, not by America, not by society, but in biology, we were created to be the workhorses. When you start to take on that role, you're gonna suffer the same effects as a man does, and that means a shorter lifespan.
Mm.
So I'm glad you hit on that point. But I already see it now.
Hmm.
I don't think we have to wait 10 or 15 years. I already see women now going through that. A lot of
No, I'm
the
what I'm
women
saying is in
that
great number, in
okay,
mass, to
okay,
where they're going to start talking. This is going to be like news. They're
well,
going to be talking about, oh, we have these shelters,
right,
because if you don't have money in retirement, you don't have money to live off of. You're going to have a bunch of tent cities with women. You have a bunch of. I mean, it's going to be too many for shelters.
and
It's going to be a bunch of
and I
places.
hear women talking about being victims and things like that, but
Mm.
there's nothing more vulnerable than a woman living on the street.
Yeah, yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's you're gonna really be exposed to all kind of you know ill wheels, I guess you could say, because that's just the fact of the
Mm.
matter. But I'll speak from my family. I'm seeing it with a lot of the older women that raised me.
Mm.
I'm seeing that exact situation right now,
Mm.
with the women in my family. So it's already here,
Mm.
and it's just going to be exacerbated by in
Oh,
10 or 15
yes,
years.
yeah. It's gonna be one of the things where they're gonna turn around. Now, I spoke on this earlier with a friend of mine, and I really believe men gonna be to blame for that too. If we don't course
Well,
correct,
did
men.
you just see what Deborah Cooper
Yeah, I
said?
saw she, and she's gonna be if she's still living, she's gonna be the one that brings that message forward.
Right.
But the whole thing is that when you choose not to partner, um, you have consequences that you might not be focused on. Yeah, it feels good to say you're independent. It feels good to get all the praises and accolades. Um,
But
but at the end of time,
that's temporary.
yeah, it's temporary. Yeah. Um, everything, financial geniuses, financial whatever, everything, anybody that will tell you about life, about anything, any advice about life, they will preach delayed gratification, right?
Hmm.
And that's what I think needs to happen in this aspect. Yeah, I mean, it's good to have this praise and all this other stuff, but as far as me, like, I didn't always feel this way as far as about marriage and everything. I coming to deeper understanding about life and everything. I believe we as Black people need to start getting back to where we start marrying and,
Hmm.
becoming one, partnering with each other. How you do it, I don't care.
But see, I think that's my thing.
Mm.
I don't want to
No, go ahead,
cut you
go
off
ahead,
too
go
much,
ahead,
but
go ahead.
marriage that's a creation of man and society.
Mhm.
But since the beginning of time, we always had some kind of structure in place to where this is my pride or this is whatever. I'm taking care of this as far as a man goes. I'm taking care of this
Mhm.
plot of land, whether that be two, three women,
Mm-hmm.
however many kids,
Mm-hmm.
or a single woman, and then we brought marriage along, and so
Mm-hmm.
that's the best thing we had to represent that. So people always fall back on marriage, but uh, when you, I'm very basic.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole point for being on Earth is to procreate, and you can't not do that without the cooperation of one another. We,
Mm-hmm.
we we have to come together and then do it. Not just make a baby and then we split where now the woman is stuck raising the child on her own. That it was never that way. The men
Mm-hmm.
always made sure they provided for the family. Now he might not always been there, but the family was provided for where they
Mm-hmm.
could eat and they had protection or whatever the case may be. But now in society, we having these kids and the man is no longer there to provide for them. So marriage is not for everybody. I
Mm-hmm.
agree with that. But if you want to start to bring life into the world, I think you need to have some kind of covenant in place to where you can sustain that life with man and woman. And like I said, our best example of that right now is just in marriage.
Mm-hmm. And but to what you say, Ashley, I I I don't monogamous relationships need to be normalized as well as the statement.
Mm.
I don't 100% agree with that because what I think if we go back to history, like I'm a student of history. If we go back to history, there's reasons why if we're gonna call it polygamy or we're gonna call or having a harem, there's reasons why that happened, and it was about survival.
Yeah.
It was all about survival. So I think it and this might be some doom and gloom, but I think in this country, as far as black people, with the way y'all complain about black men ain't shit and all this other stuff, and we have black men are not being men. I'm thinking that it's going to be a time to where black women are going to have to partner
Other women with the man.
with the man. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
They
going to
they
have to coexist, coinhabit uh,
be-
a space.
simply because the numbers say so. If
Hmm.
you want to continue on to carry life in a, oh, I call it responsible manner. If you want to continue to raise children in a protection, that's my whole thing under a certain protection. But the monogamous part, and no, men were not created to be monogamous. That's something that society has decided. Okay, we're going to be any man who's monogamous made a decision to that
Yeah,
against his
he made it. Yeah,
against his natural instinct is to spread his seed. He decided, okay, I'm gonna be, and we as human beings, like I always say this, the only species who can go against their instinct. We can do the opposite of what our instinct says.
yeah. And
I'm
as you
not
say, I'm
sure.
not sharing, but I don't knock anyone else. No, and it's not for everybody else. But what I'm saying once again, uh,
He's just dealing with the reality of
the reality
what's
of
to come.
what's coming up is that we're going to get to the point where it was back in history, right? To where if you don't have a man, you're going to be more susceptible to being used and abused by
Mhm.
outside forces.
And the pandemic kind of exposed that a little
Yeah,
bit.
the pandemic. It took the pandemic to expose this to why we need each other. Actually, to why um, being with people in close proximity as a family unit is so helpful. Um, so I'm not saying that's for everybody, but I'm saying that based on us having to survive, right, for survival purposes, I think that would be something that wouldn't be off the table for a lot of people.
It's it's gonna happen.
It's going to have to
It's
happen.
gonna happen
Yeah.
if they want to. Like women may not like this, but a woman's job is the carrier of life.
Mm.
So if they want to carry life, they're gonna have to do it like that. They're gonna have to share a male in order to do that.
Well, I'm talking, and I'm
Oh,
speaking past that. I'm
okay,
speaking. Yeah,
okay.
I'm not even speaking to
You're talking about the
the
whole.
family structure. I'm
Gotcha.
speaking. I'm speaking towards the latter years. Um, because even now, like when you get older, older women have been in news, right? Carjacked. You've been seeing a woman dragged down the street.
People are
Um,
punching them in the face.
yeah, just straight punch away, stealing their purses. So,
Old ladies.
um, yeah, I mean, just based on safety itself, I mean, we're gonna have to figure this out, ladies. I mean, and as much as the society tells you and anybody else, with any movement, with any move, with any movement, tell you that you don't need a man, and black women that you don't need a black man specifically. think about how you want to live your life when you're in your
In your
60s.
50s, your late 50s, your
Yeah,
60s, your 70s.
how you want to live your life, and if that outcome is what you want to have, when you think about that, fine, go God. But like I said, I didn't want this to be triggering or make this attack on women, but I just think this is a topic that is something that we need to talk about, and it's something that's very real, and we can't hide our head in the sand. I mean, like you said, I mean, we looked up, we 40,
Yeah, 40 plus.
late 40s,
Yeah.
we late 40s
Yeah.
now. So so I just want y'all to be mindful, ladies. I mean, you don't have to take it from me. You don't have to listen to me. Uh, you can say everything I said up to this point has been bullshit, but time will tell.
Yeah,
So
time is like, and I see it, so I,
mm,
I I know what's waiting for him. That's why I'm teaching my daughter now. Well, my youngest daughter, my oldest daughter already out there. She's living her life, and I
mm,
probably can still share some stuff with her. But my youngest daughter, I'm like, look, life is about relationships and people, and so
and the reason why I'm doing this too is because I don't want nobody to come back and tell me I didn't say shit, right?
right. Well,
Because if
you was silent when he
yeah,
was
you were
doing.
silent, yeah. So the weight is off my back. Now I'm being honest. The weight is off my back. I've said it. I put it out there. So DM me if whatever you feel. Just DM me, talk to me, and we can have this discussion. I'm open for it. I'm all about progression of black people, black family, black marriages, or marriages. Period. I mean, if you choose somebody that's not black, it's fine too. But I'm all for marriage. I'm all for partnering with somebody and existing the best way you can until you have to go, because we only have a short time on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, our younger generation. But no, okay, bring it back. No, it matters because the younger generation are watching us. So that's another reason I care, because I have women, I have young women coming up, 7 nieces,
Mm.
and I have a granddaughter. So I care. So this is not attack, ladies. This is about me caring and me trying to make better, trying to change the outcomes we have today. Anything you got to say? Because I'm
Yeah,
done. I didn't say
you
everything.
sum that thing up, man.
Okay.
I hope DM him.
Yeah, DM me. Yeah, we could talk about it. I mean, just DM me about anything. I'm always willing to have this talk, debate, whatever. I do it all weekend. That's what I do. That's why I was tired. That's why I was late with the show, because I'm up debating stuff and talking about different situations and topics. So, yeah, that's it. I'm through.
All right,
Off my soapbox. And I see y'all next week.
all right, y'all
Appreciate
take it
y'all
easy.
tuning in. And we gone.
Yeah.
Peace.